Now, I completely understand why people joke about Judd Apatow because his movies are so long. He makes a bunch of dramedies, but when he makes a really good comedy like 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up, cult classic comedies, if you ask me, he makes some really solid comedies. So whenever he makes a movie, I'm always very intrigued to see if he's making a new comedy classic. The Bubble stars Karen Gillan and Iris Apatow, and is by a group of actors and actresses stuck inside a pandemic bubble at a hotel attempts to complete a film. Now, after watching this movie tonight with my mom and dad on Netflix, I came in my room, sat down, turned on the camera, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna be that guy, I think. I think I might be that guy, because it's an all-star cast, like I said. I mean, I said only a few with Karen Gillan, Iris Apatow. You got Pedro Pascal, Leslie Mann, you got Keegan-Michael Key. I mean, it is a ton of cameos. It's a movie I think a lot of general audiences are probably gonna find very funny and a very enjoyable movie. But for me, guys, I truly think this is a bad movie, especially a bad comedy if you ask me. And out of every Judd Apatow movie, I can go ahead and just basically tell you this is my least favorite, and I think this is the worst movie he has ever done. I will start with my small positives, and that is the cast themselves. I think everyone in this movie is giving it their try. Everyone's trying to get a laugh out of you, especially Pedro Pascal. He had a few moments of chuckles for me, and I mean very few. Karen Gillan, I think she's a really good megastar on the brinks of being a megastar, because she's really funny in Jumanji and she's awesome in the Marvel Universe. And so with this movie, she is our main lead, and as a character, there is no character development. Really, no one has a character arc. They're just a bunch of actors in a really nice-ass hotel, stuck in a bubble, stuck in the pandemic era, and I have no issues with them trying to poke fun and trying to be a comedy satire during the pandemic. I have no issues with it, even though, obviously, people out there who dealt with loss could see this being as very just off-putting for them, which I completely understand, but for me, it's been a few years since the lockdown, and I think it's time we can poke a little fun at it, and the movie gives you glimpses of what we went through a comedy satire, which I appreciate them trying. I just don't think they successfully did it, especially when you have an all-star cast. And like I was saying, I chuckled at very few moments. I'm gonna go ahead and spoil the one thing that actually made me, my mom and dad, actually laugh. There's a scene where somebody is dying, and Keegan-Michael Key is on drugs, and he says, hold on, I'll be right back, I'll go get someone. And he does like backflips outside the room. He just goes straight out the room doing back. It was the funniest and most random scene, and that, to me, was the funniest thing in this entire movie. Everything else, and I am telling you right now, this movie is way too long and overstays its welcome by like an hour. Like, literally, this movie should have been an hour and 29 minutes long. It's 2 hours and 6 minutes. All of Judd Apatow movies are usually longer than they need to be. All of them, honestly, all of them. Knocked Up, Funny People especially, The King of Staten Island. I mean, these movies are like 2 hours plus. This is 40. And with this movie being 2 hours and 6 minutes, it did not need to be. And like I said, the cast is trying. I mean, I like seeing Iris Apatow, the daughter, obviously related to Judd Apatow and Leslie Mann in this movie. And she looks just like her sister and sounds just like her sister. Oh my gosh. And it's weird seeing that I saw her grow up in movies, and now with this movie, she's becoming a young woman. I'm glad to see her start to really expand her roles, hopefully like her sister, like in Euphoria. And like I said, you have Keegan-Michael Key, Leslie Mann, the guy from Californication, all these actors. But it wasn't funny. For me, like honestly, for 2 hours, my mom and dad got on their phones, we started conversating about different things, what we're doing tomorrow, what we're eating for dinner tomorrow night. We weren't focused on this movie. I mean, honestly, there were times I honestly considered telling them, hey, we can just go ahead and turn it off. Like, honestly, it was that bad where we almost just turned off Netflix and watched something else, because I was bored. It's sad when a comedy doesn't make you laugh, and when there are scenes of them trying to do TikTok trends and dances because they're trying to be all trendy, which felt very non-like Judd Apatow because he likes doing dramas with comedies. Yeah, this is a like bunch of film studios making a dinosaur movie, and it didn't feel like Judd Apatow at all. There were some very cringy scenes, and when I'm sitting there very cringy, I'm like, oh, I feel like embarrassed. Like I feel like I want to be like, hey guys, can you stop? We need to redo this. Like I wanted to tell them to stop, and that's the worst feeling, especially in a comedy. So really, my biggest con is I didn't find this movie very funny. Not really at all. I'm gonna give The Bubble a D. I do think this is one of the worst movies of the year because it's a 2-hour plus comedy where I only laughed at a person doing a backflip outside of a room because it was just so random. That's my review. To me, it wasn't funny, but I can 100% see people very much enjoy this movie, maybe having a great time with it, having enjoyed with the cameos, laughing, all that kind of stuff. It's a good R-rated movie to some people, but for me, this was garbage, if you ask me. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone.